choo, 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 whoop, whoop.
I'm going to try and position my head so
the sun is kind of hitting you on a bit of an angle there. Right?
Yeah.
All right, well, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And welcome to the bar hanging out today.
What he said.
Feels like a pretty casual day today.
How's my drink?
That's good.
Is it?
This is a nice one, yeah.
Well, okay.
You didn't think it was your best?
Nah. I think I'm just very limited.
Okay. Yeah, limited in inventory to make a cool drink right now. Well, welcome everybody. And thank you for coming out. I think today's episode will be pretty chill. We, feeling a chill day today.
I think so.
I don't think there's going to be too much intenseness in today's episode. It's probably going to be pretty a chill ride today.
Yeah, we start off that way, but then sometimes we kind of get.
Sometimes we can get derailed about subjects, and then when we do get derailed, you never know where we're going to go. So
it happens.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So what's been going on with me lately? I've been enjoying multiple bike rides in lovely days, and that has been keeping me in good shape.
There you go.
I think what I'm learning from bike rides is that you don't realize how fast your legs can go out of shape until you try to bike up a hill.
Nah.
And when you're trying to bike up a hill, yes, you can realize pretty quickly that your legs aren't maybe necessarily in the shape that you think that they're in. When you have to push a little bit to get up that hill, and you're like, you
feel that lactic acid burning up.
Yeah, and you're like, no! And then you're like, oh, is the hill over? But then usually if you get up to the top of a hill, you can probably coast down on the other side. So it depends where you're biking and you're riding, but the downhills are always nice.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Did that happen to you today? Did you realize?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Well, I did exactly that. I was biking up a hill, and then at the top, I was just kind of, in that position where you just biked up a hill, so, you're kind of tired. So then I just hung out for a little bit, and then on the other end is a slow downhill to keep going. So it's perfect though, right? Because once you bike up to the top of that hill, takes a bit of energy, but then on the other side to keep going.
You're coasting.
Hopefully you're just coasting along. So, it works out. Sometimes you got to put in the effort before you can coast.
Maybe it's not your legs being out of shape though. Maybe your muscles are just tired because you've been biking a lot.
Mm.
So maybe that's what
Yeah, that's true. I'm learning always balance in the world of everything, but biking especially, like anything else, you can wear yourself out if you're just going for too many bike rides. You can wear out your legs or whatever, but I'm putting in the effort to ride, man, and it's working out good. It's working out good.
Good.
Hells yeah.
Good.
Hells yeah.
It's a little bit of a brighter episode, I think. I don't think we usually...
Yeah, I think our lighting's going to be different on this one because we got some different lighting kind of things going on, so I'm not sure.
I might look like I have a halo.
We might look dark. I don't know how this episode lighting's going to work, but that's okay.
That's okay.
That's pretty sweet, though, for sure. Mm-hmm.
This is our chill episode. We're like, yep.
Exactly. Well, I think that I might be able to go and search for Bigfoot on a bicycle.
You're going to go search for... something bit my ass.
What? There's nothing down here.
I swear,
that was all in your head.
Oh, maybe.
That's all in your head.
Well, I got a sudden...
I'm pretty sure both of my hands have been up here the whole time, so you can't put that at me. My hands have been up here.
It wasn't a hand. It felt like a little...
I wasn't going for it.
Mosquito poke.
Oh, fair, okay.
Shit, I forget what I was saying. Uh-oh.
I was just mentioning Bigfoot and how going to try to find him on a bicycle might be something to do.
That might be hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Bigfoot would live up in the mountains.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, he probably would, but I think the secret would be to get up high in the mountain, have your bike ready, and then as soon as there were some sightings, just hit that downhill and go incredibly fast to try and catch it. I think that would be the ultimate, way to catch Bigfoot because he's moving quick. Yeah. But if you're on a bike and you're up high, you can go downhill and you can catch him. So I think that could be an aggressive but quite possible way to catch up to Bigfoot and be the first one to shake his hand and be like, "Sup, Biggie?"
But then you have to haul your bike all the way up the hill or mountain.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a bit of a trek. That's not the funnest thing.
It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd rather just walk. You'd probably end up making less noise if you're walking, so you'd be less likely to scare away Bigfoot.
That's true. Yeah, that's fair. It's a good point. Do you think Bigfoot has big hands?
Of course he does.
I always kind of wondered that. Is it Bigfoot with small hands?
No, that would be weird.
Or Bigfoot has big hands?
You can't have small hands being Bigfoot. There's nothing small about Bigfoot.
Bigfoot is just big. Big hands, big feet, big face, big body.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Did you ever watch that movie? I think it was called Meet the Hendersons. And there was Bigfoot in it.
No, I don't think I've seen that one.
It was like a cute little family movie.
No, I don't think I've seen that one. Meet the Hendersons?
I think that's what it was called.
That doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah, it was
What,
decent.
is that like 90s? The 80s?
I don't know.
Just,
80s or 90s.
Just a movie from the past that they made?
A movie from the past that I had seen at some point in my
Meet
childhood.
the Hendersons.
I think that's what it was.
Nice. That's cool. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's sweet.
It just made me think about it because we were talking about Bigfoot.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also wanted to mention that we've both been painting a lot. I was doing some mural work, and you've been doing all kinds of different work for your canvases.
I feel like I haven't been painting that much. I feel like I should be painting more.
Well, you're poking away at it.
That's true.
You don't always have to feel like you have to do 8-hour sessions every day to feel like you're painting. You know what I mean? Like to do 8-hour sessions every day, that's just bananas.
I think it's been like 3 days since I've painted.
Yeah, I know, but that's because you went on a tear before that, so you kind of had to take a bit of a break.
Okay.
But yeah, I want to shout out to Live Love Louder, who's been doing murals in our city. We'll give a heart to them.
Hearts.
Yeah, Live Love Louder is an organization of some people that are doing murals around the city, and they are painting all kinds of things. They're not only doing murals, but they're painting some of the parks. Some of the things inside the parks to just make them better and refresh the vibe. So
give the park some spark.
Exactly. So they're amazing, and they've been putting a lot of time into organizing all this and figuring out all the logistics of the murals and where they're going to be going up and how they're going to be going down. And
murals are hard.
Yeah, they're not easy to kind of envision and make look good. Like, you can walk up to any wall and paint it, but it's not, if you don't have a plan and you don't have a design and you don't know exactly how the flow is going to go.
Yeah.
Like, it's not,
It's just, it's the scale of it. Like,
yeah, and they're big. They're super big. You're painting a cement wall or whatever, brick
any
or whatever.
Wall, yeah.
Brick or whatever your canvas is. You're painting something out there, right? A side of a building, whatever it is.
Or it could be an indoor mural, too. It doesn't have to be outside.
Yeah, I guess I should have been more specific. These are outdoor murals for the most part. On all kinds of different materials. Could be brick, could be cement, could be wood, could be, but they're outdoors. So that's always tricky when you're dealing with that kind of mural painting. Nice. Falafel. Mm-hmm. So shout out to them for organizing some great gatherings of artists and everybody involved in that to just brighten up the city that we live in and make it that much better. Shout out.
Yay!
Exactly. And I like doing it. I mean,
I like doing it too.
It's cool when you have enough people there, so that way there's always somebody kind of hitting a spot here, a spot there, because you need to obviously take breaks while you're doing it. So if you have enough people, you can just put in the time, take a little break, somebody else can come in, do a little bit, you can switch out, create a flow, and I find that works the best. Yeah, even if you're off the wall for 5 minutes just to give because if you're doing this or
it's hard on
your
the body,
arm is up and you're reaching a lot while you're doing stuff, and if you get a few people there, you can kind of just switch out, take a 5-minute break. That's all you need to get back on it, do it a bit more. So I think for outdoor murals, group projects and group work for that is, probably the best way to do it, I would say. If you're throwing up murals, more people the better, really. I don't know.
I think after the planning stage.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the planning stage, less people, the better.
Yeah, that's true. But once you get the plan and it all laid out,
And
the
you
more
just need
all
like,
hands
grunt
on
work.
deck.
Yeah.
All hands on deck to just throw the paint and get it going. Get
I
it
have
looking
such
good.
trust issues though.
Yeah.
I have such a hard time just trusting people to do it right.
Well, I think you have to aim for that looks good, because if it looks good, it looks good. You don't want like you're not there to win awards for the work. You're just there to make it look good and be brighter than, you know, some tag or some spray paint can tag or something like that. Like, you know, and I'm not saying that there's not a lot of spray paint can tags that look like bad.
Wow.
But yeah, you know what I'm trying to get at is there's a lot of spray paint tags that look good. They look really good. But just those ones where one person in one can just, you know, hack in their name or something.
Don't be a lazy
right?
spray painter.
Yeah, if you're gonna spray paint something, at least make it look good. Like, and get more than one color. Like, at least have 2 colors minimum.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna spray paint something with one can, like, come on, man, get 2 cans, get 2 different colors. You know what I mean? Put in a little bit of an attempt there. But I mean, there's also the difference between, you know, having the proper permits and stuff to paint stuff, or just going around like a goof and spray painting anything and making it look goofy. You know, like you're not even, you know.
I like goofy.
Yeah. Okay, I know Goofy can be a good thing, so, you know,
You know Walt Disney hated Goofy?
Did he hate Goofy?
He hated Goofy. He wanted to kill off Goofy.
He thought that Goofy was just too weird?
Yeah, he wanted to kill off Goofy.
Fair, wow. Huh.
I personally love Goofy.
I like Goofy. I think Goofy's a great character.
Goofy's one of my favorites.
Goofy's a great character.
He's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, Walt Disney must have been an interesting person to have conversations with, because, you know, you could just tell, like, his passion, but I don't think he would always agree with everything that you were saying, and he'd probably tell you pretty quick. So
yeah.
It's like, he must have been an interesting person to have conversations with, for sure.
Yeah, like, well, he was a very creative human being, and I think having a conversation with a really creative human being is always an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he was known for having really big mood swings, too.
Oh, okay.
So,
fair. He could be a little all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, you know, if you're that type of person that's trying to get projects through and a visionary, you know, things can be a little frustrating for you, that's for sure.
Yeah, when you're trying to explain your vision to people that might not
see it
the same way that you do.
Understand it. No, for sure. Or you'll get somebody that'll just completely, you know, go against your view for something or whatever. And it's so hard to try and either find a happy middle ground or like keep going with what you're doing. It's kind of like, it can be a little tricky.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the stories you hear about Walt Disney are pretty cool, but at the same time, like, you can definitely tell he was a character to work with and be around. But
apparently it was a little difficult to work with. Yeah.
He definitely got results in things. And
God, he revolutionized animation.
I think that's the thing that, you know, you got to give that guy credit for, is just the results. He's like a result maker. You know, if you wanted something done,
hell or high water.
If you wanted something done, he was hitting the results. You know what I mean? So I think that's where you got to respect it, even if he didn't want to have Goofy around.
I like Goofy.
Yeah.
Goofy's cool.
Goofy is neat. He's a crazy character.
He's crazy.
Mm.
A Goofy movie is the best. It's underrated.
Oh, a Goofy movie. I don't even know if I've seen that.
Yeah. Yeah, you have. Watched it not that long ago with you.
A Goofy movie?
Yeah. You know where the kid wants to go to the rock concert because he's trying to impress the girl, but then Goofy wants to have like a father and son bonding thing, so he takes him on a camping trip, but he tries to like sideswipe the camping trip to get to like LA.
I didn't know that that's what it was called. I didn't know
it's called a Goofy movie.
Okay. Fair. Well, there you go. I did watch it then.
Gonna stand out
nice
above the crowd. you know you want, the only thing you'll see, you gotta stand out to notice me.
Nice. Did you just hear?
I did. I tried to dance.
You did pretty good. That was a pretty.
That
good
was
dance.
my toe.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That was good. That was good singing that you got there. That was pretty decent. That was pretty decent. But I don't know what my favorite character is in Disney because I have
I can't
different
pick a
ones,
favorite.
and that's impossible.
Goofy's up there though.
He's cool, man. He's cool. Yeah. He's
As
pretty
far as
cool.
like especially OG characters go,
Mm-hmm.
Goofy's pretty close. I think he was the third one or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, no, probably the fifth. Did Pluto come before Goofy? Pluto
Couldn't
must
tell
have came
ya.
before Goofy.
Couldn't tell you. I'm not sure.
I feel like I went Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and then it's a toss up between Pluto and Daisy, who came first.
Is that the order? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we have any Disney board games? I don't think we have any.
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Is that a
Technically, that's Disney.
Okay.
It's a weird story how that's Disney, but it's technically Disney.
Yeah, we've played that one.
Yeah, it's Clue.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Nightmare Before Christmas Clue. I think that's the only one though.
There's a lot out there.
I keep trying to get those like quiz Disney board game things,
Oh.
but then you get scared because you feel like you're not going to know as much.
Well, see,
And that's
the
fair.
thing with me and quizzes, and especially games that involve quizzes and trivia and stuff, like I like
That's the word I'm looking for. Thanks.
trivia. I like trivia, and I love trivia nights, trivia games. You know, when you go to a bar or something and there's people doing the trivia, that's always fun. But my trivia knowledge, sometimes I find some of the questions I'm just like, I'm like clueless
I think
towards. Like some of it though, it depends what it is because my knowledge is spread out. So
I think
some of it I'm like,
you-
I have no idea.
might close your door before
Yeah, like it
it's
depends.
ready.
It depends because like a lot of topics, a lot of topics can be detailed, I guess, and a lot of the knowledge that you need for trivia is you have to know, the exact answer. You can't be in the ballpark or like think you
Well,
kind of know. So
I mean, we play street rules most
yeah,
of the time.
trivia street rules is appreciated because if you're in the street rule of the answer, you might not have the exact word or whatever, but you're in the street rule pocket for trivia,
Yeah.
so you're not too bad. You know what I mean?
Oftentimes, I'll play street rules for trivia games.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Especially stuff like Trivial Pursuit,
yeah.
because it's hard.
Trivial Pursuit's tricky. Yeah, Trivial Pursuit is tricky.
I used to have a 90s edition of Trivial Pursuit.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought it
That's
was going to
cool.
be good because the 90s is cool, or
Yeah.
are cool. I guess it's
The
are.
90s were cool,
Were? Yeah.
but they still are cool. But they were. Like,
Whoa.
anything like the 70s they're still cool, but they were, but they are.
But, yeah.
I don't know
We'll
what's
say
the best
are.
way to say it.
We'll say are.
70s are cool, are a cool time.
See,
Were
I think
a cool
like...
time. I think you were saying
I think
were.
maybe if you lived through that decade, you'd be allowed to say were because you lived through it. But maybe if you didn't live through the decade, you'd have to say are.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway,
Let's
where
just-
was I going with
Let's
that?
just go with that. Let's
Where
just
was I
go with
going?
that.
I derailed. Where was I going?
You were talking about the
oh,
90s.
90s.
You were talking about
Okay,
the 90s.
Trivial Pursuit.
I think you zoned in on the 90s.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be good because the 90s were fun. But it wasn't. It was not a good Trivial Pursuit game.
No?
It was not fun, no.
Oh, that's weird, eh?
And like, it was when Trivial Pursuit started to get really cheap with making their board games.
Oh,
like,
okay.
The board was all warped and shitty cardboard and
Yeah, I don't know why that happens with some things.
like you play old board games and they're heavy duty. Now board games are like this shitty floppy cardboard.
Yeah, I don't know why
and, like, crappy
I don't know why that happens. Why, what's that curve of something getting too shitty to the point where you're like, this is actually shitty. Like, there's got to be a happy medium, especially for games and stuff.
I know.
Like, you don't want to open something new and be like, yeah, I'm all excited to play it, and the pieces are garbage and the board's already half falling apart. And you're like, this is kind of garbage.
Yeah, I remember like the graphics.
Yeah.
On top were like kind of papery, but not paper.
That's fair.
And it was like kind of glued to the cardboard, and then it would start to peel up.
Yeah.
That was shat.
That's fair, that's fair, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like you say, if there's a thin layer of glue and two things pressed together and the whole thing's lifting, or God forbid you accidentally spill a drink on it or something, and then the whole board's ruined.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
total fucked.
It's like just because the board is not sealed properly with anything, or you spilled something on it, but it happens. You have drinks around, you're playing a board game, and all of a sudden, just because there's some water on it and all the tiles are peeling off and everything, it's like, put at least some kind of like little coating on there or something. We have the technology, laminate that or something.
We do have the technology.
Just laminate it.
We have lots of technology.
There's lots of ways to do a little coat that the waterproof it, or there's a ton of different ways to do it.
Yeah.
That's a simple thing, man.
Companies got cheap.
But yeah, I mean, I love playing board games, and I love when they're fun.
I keep saying we need to play more board games, but it's just...
Yeah, it's true. Well, I mean, hey,
we're busy this summer.
Yeah. I mean, things are happening.
Feel like it anyway.
A lot of positive vibes, and every day is, full of a thing. Whatever it is, it is. Mm-hmm. And I enjoy kind of having some plans. I've been enjoying not having a lot of plans. I kind of like the balance of, having some plans but not too many plans. And I don't like living life having, second to second plans all the time. Neither. Some people need a lot of plans, but the older I get, the more I'm the opposite. I need some plans, but I don't like having
my plans now are always very tentative.
Yeah, it's kind of true.
Down to the day. Like, I don't mind having, say, a week's notice of something.
Yeah, it depends what it is.
You know, potentially there's this plan to do XYZ in a week. So then I know that the event is happening, and then I can kind of gauge my week based on that. Because as most people, but my energy bubble is a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
Most people have an energy bubble of some sort, and it's easy to use up that energy bubble.
Well, and that's the thing about plans is that you never know what's going to happen on the day of. Like, I
could wake up and not be able to move that day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, exactly. Like, you never know what's going to happen. So, having some plans is great, but ultimately, just taking it day by day and, seeing what happens for the most part is, pretty advantageous in a lot of things, So, I think, that's the way I look at it anyway. Maybe I want to go fishing today. Maybe I don't, Get a few things done. Maybe I don't, just whatever, right?
Yeah, like, I was houseworky today.
Yeah, just pokey. We did a few things.
Yeah, did some laundry, did some sweeping, wiped some dust, that
hooked up our fish with some new water.
Hooked up the fish with some new water, fed some spiders, just housekeeping things.
Yeah, so I mean, day to day, it's like you never really have 100% of a plan, or you don't really know exactly this. You just poke away at some stuff and have some fun with a few things, and balance it out. Yeah. Do you want to ride the roller coaster or not? Are you going to the theme park today? When was the last time you went to a theme park?
I think the last time
a little bit.
The last time I went to a theme park that that comes to mind anyway, is when we went to Halloween Haunt. When we went to Canada's Wonderland for Halloween Haunt.
That's probably the last time I was anywhere too.
That's the last time I remember.
That's probably the last time I went to a theme park too, is for Halloween Haunt. It was a great time.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was wonderful.
Halloween Haunt.
I had a great time.
spooky.
It was fun. I was scaring people and not meaning to.
Nice.
I tend to do that. I'm
Her
really not that
costume
scary.
was so scary that random people they thought that you like were part of the people working there,
you know
or
what?
like they thought that you were one of the scarers or something.
Yeah, but you know
It was
what's-
like your costume.
No, that's what's fucked up. That's just my regular clothing.
It was your makeup, because that day we didn't wear costumes to the park.
No.
Because you were just could you have worn a costume? I forget. No, because the people in costume are the ones that are participating in the event.
Yeah.
And they're kind of scaring you or helping you out or whatever they feel like doing.
Yeah.
So the people that are just going there as the public are just in regular clothes.
Yeah,
so then you can tell the difference between who's working there and who's not.
I'm just naturally spooky.
That's right.
I have
right.
I have a maniacal laugh, and it scares children. And,
oh my god, that was so funny.
Yeah.
I remember someone was backing up, and then you were just standing there, and then they turned around. They're like, "Don't scare me!"
I know, and I'm like,
and you were just standing there, and you were like, "What? Like, what?
I am a pleb.
About? Don't scare me! Like, what are you talking about?"
I'm just me, man. I'm just a little spooky person. I'm not meaning to scare you. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, yeah.
I'm kind-hearted. I just
What's
look scary.
What's like day-to-day things that like can spook you sometimes out of nowhere, just in like day-to-day things, like, you know, I don't know what it is, like just like the door creaks or something, or you just kind of like hear like, what's spooky stuff that can just happen to you on an average day that like kind of trips you up?
Random bangs.
Yeah, like what's like, that? Like how did that noise happen? Or
like not like light taps or like clicks.
Okay.
Not so much that stuff, but just random like boom.
Like thuds.
Thuds.
Like, where did that thud come from? And you kind of have to stop and like look around. I agree with you. Random noises that are loud that just feel like they shouldn't happen.
And you can't find anything that would make the
That's
sound
what I'm
that
saying.
loud.
It's not like logical. There's no door that closed. There's
Nothing fell.
nothing fell. I think, a few times where I've heard that like loud thud, and then you look to see if something fell or something, but nothing fell. That's kind of like a spooky thing that just happens.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man. Like,
that freaks me out a little bit.
Spooky as shit. Mm-hmm. But yeah, day-to-day life can be full of spookiness.
Yeah. Yeah, it can.
My, this is kind of a spooky thing, but a little bit silly. Also, probably a little, something that I should check. But there's like a clamp that holds the front tire on my bike, and if it's not closed all the way and like locked, the tire can like wobble a little bit because it's not locked on tight, because you can take the tire off.
Right.
So if the lock for the tire isn't on tight and it's open a little bit, the tire has like a bit of a wobble. And I was going along and I was like, what's happening right now? And then I knew the tire was it felt loose because it was a little bit. And then I looked down, and sure enough, the tire lock clamp just had popped out a little bit.
Oh, shit.
So I had to kind of kick it. But I think I hit the door on the way out when I was leaving with that thing, and that's what popped it out a little bit. Because once it locks, like, there's a very small chance that like it basically doesn't just open. But if you hit it on something, then that's when it'll happen. And it just had to hit it on the right angle. So it's kind of spooky and a little bit trippy as I was going along, and I'm like, what's going on with this tire? And then I looked down and I'm like, oh shit. So I popped it back and I clicked it back in there. But when your wheel starts shaking and you're like, what is going on right now? Like, this isn't good. You know, I should probably look into that.
It was like when I was a kid.
Fix my bike tire.
And like to this day, I don't even understand how this happened.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was a kid, I had this green bike, and I fucking loved this bike.
Yeah.
It was the most beautiful shade of green. I was obsessed. And I went down this one big hill, and then I noticed like halfway down the hill, my tire speed was slowing down. Okay. I'm like, hey, this is really weird. Like, it gradually got slower and slower. What? And then I made it to the bottom of the hill, and I got off my bike and I started trying to push it, and it wouldn't go. And I'm like, this is fucked up. So I sat down there was like a cement thing, and I sat down on that, and I was looking at my bike tire, And it just slowly started expanding and expanding and expanding, and then it blew up.
What?
Yeah. I have no idea
to
how
this
this
day,
happened.
how that happened?
Yeah, not a clue. Like, it doesn't even make sense to my brain now how that would happen.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to figure that
Yeah,
out too.
it was so weird.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe it overheated or something?
Maybe?
But what would cause it to just randomly do that? Like, heat would be the only thing that
Maybe
I
because
could
I was fat and I was like...
think of. Like, maybe it was just heat? But I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a kind of a unique one, though.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've ever
know.
heard of that before.
Spooky.
But that's a little bit creepy, yeah. And it just popped out on you. It just kind of blew out.
Just blew up, yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was weird.
Jeez.
Very strange.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, it was weird. You know what I want to
That is interesting.
get more of is vinyl movie soundtracks. Like, just like...
Collecting vinyls?
not acoustic. It's the wrong word. Instrumental.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I was just thinking about the Halloween soundtrack today, and I was like, it'd be really cool to listen to on vinyl.
Yeah, dude, for sure. And, you know, the sound that you can get out of vinyl, you know, it's a pretty good quality sound.
Yep.
And to collect those movie soundtracks on vinyl, I don't think, you know, I would say probably less than half of movies that were released even have a vinyl soundtrack. Like, obviously they have a soundtrack,
Well,
but
it's
I don't
older
think there's
movies.
that. I don't think there was like that many movies that released vinyl soundtracks for them, were
Probably
there?
more than you realize.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Jurassic Park has one. I know Frozen has one.
So some of the newer stuff is putting out vinyl sound
You
like.
consider Jurassic Park new? Sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, past the realm of when vinyl like was kind of started, or when it was the thing. You know
Okay.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, modern.
Yeah, like stuff like Frozen on vinyl, that's kind of like a modern thing that was put onto vinyl, yeah, for the sake of just doing it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they could have just easily stuck with digital, or maybe put out a CD, or...
Oh, they probably did that too.
Yeah, well, obviously. I think what I'm noticing is that it's just becoming an optional thing for... Because they can press vinyls, you know, on request, just as easy as you can make a CD on request, or, you know, whatever. So the formats, you know, make a cassette on request. The formats, from what I'm seeing now, is, you know, obviously digital is the most modern one. And then a lot of bands and studios and things are going with just pick whatever you want and we can make it for you. Or, you know, if we're going to do 100 press, and once the 100 are gone, they're gone. But it's going to be, it's kind of like an optional thing, right? That's what I'm noticing. And I think that's pretty cool because, you know, on-demand vinyl pressing or cassette pressing or whatever it may be is a great way to see, you know, what people are feeling, what, you know, what format and stuff people want to, bring back. And the only one I haven't really seen much of, unfortunately, is the 8-track.
It's because it sucks.
But I feel like that format, from what I heard, had a few too many problems.
It was bad. I had 8 tracks growing up.
I've never, out of all the formats, I have never once played an 8-track.
The sound is bad.
I've
They're
never-
big and clunky.
I've never played one. Like, I've never put in an 8-track and pressed play. That's something that I have yet to do.
You can only, like, there's only maybe 1 or 2 songs aside. It was not a good listening experience.
That little, eh?
Yeah, it was not a good listening experience.
Fair. So that's obviously why that one didn't really stick around.
Yeah.
It's funny though, I would have thought that maybe at some point I would have came across, but it was so bad that obviously a lot of people didn't even keep the players, or,
Yeah.
you know, there's obviously a few 8-track players out there, but that's a format that I've never even used. I've never even touched a 8-track player and pressed play.
I had this big
never had that.
old multi-purpose stereo thing. Well, it was my grandparents, but It had an 8-track player, it had a vinyl player, and it had a cassette player.
Oh, cool.
And yeah,
8-track, vinyl, and cassette.
Yeah.
That's a cool formatting machine.
Yeah, it was interesting. So I would pop in an 8-track every now and again just because
that thing must have been pretty big.
It was huge. Yeah.
I'm thinking about like this. I'm thinking about the size of that. I'm like, I don't think that was like a portable device.
That ugly silver metal color with like the weird brown speaker
that
covers.
Doesn't sound like too much of a portable device.
It was not portable whatsoever.
Oh.
I have no idea what became of that thing, but it stayed in its spot forever. It didn't move. Even when our basement got finished.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because eventually the basement became a finished basement. And even that, it was still in the same spot.
Cool.
Yeah. It didn't move.
Whoa. Well, there you go. That's pretty interesting, because if it's so big, it's like pianos. A lot of people...
It wasn't even an automatic vinyl player.
A lot of people, like, would put big things in their basement before they even finished their basement, because they knew if they made the door finished or whatever, they wouldn't be able to get it out.
Yeah.
It was just stuff was so big. Like a piano. Like, some people put pianos in their basements and then finish the basement around the piano.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't get the piano in any other way. It was like, you're putting a piano in there or you're not.
I feel like theoretically the stereo system I had could have fit through the door, like, sideways.
Yeah. Okay.
But it weighed 8,000 pounds. Mm-hmm. So it would probably take a solid 4 to 6 burly men to lift that thing.
That's pretty heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. And those were not in association with my family.
Wow.
We didn't really know burly men.
Oh, fair. Okay. Well, I might as well give a shout out to my album of the week, which is Prozzäk this week.
Oh!
Prozzäk is the band featuring the album. I don't know. I think I might just go with Saturday People, which was, I believe, their 2000 album, if I'm not mistaken. It came out in 2000. And,
was that their first album?
I know. Their first album was Hot Show.
Right.
I mean, they had... You know, their first, I think, big album, let's just say that. Their first, like, Prozzäk's official, maybe, first album.
Okay.
I think they had stuff before that, but, yeah, their first official one, maybe.
Okay.
I think that was Hot Show. I don't know if that was 99. That was 90s, though.
Okay.
That had, like, the songs that kind of brought Prozzäk to light. You know, some of the more memorable ones. Exactly. Strange Disease, I believe, was on Hot Show. Mm-hmm. Saturday People has, like, www. Never Get Over You.
Have I listened to that?
I'm
not sure.
Hey, Simon. But that's like 2000s Prozzäk, and then they made more music after that. But I think my album of the week is going to be Saturday People, because I was listening to that one today. And I don't know, Prozzäk is a band that I don't really know enough about. I just know that I listened to a ton of their music growing up, and not only growing up, today I was listening to some Prozzäk. So it's kind of like this timeless style of music that, you know, they were back in the 2000 era, and, you know, after that, they were, like, pushing the limits of what they could do musically, not only for them, but for a lot of things. And I think some of that stuff that they did was, like, ahead of the time. Like, you could release some of that Prozzäk stuff now, like, 20 years later, and you could still get that to a point where people would, like, that's why the albums are still so good. Because, I think that's what, you know, kind of makes music good or amazing for me, or, you know, like, just more timeless kind of vibe. Mm-hmm. If you can release that album or that music, like, in the time period of whatever time it is, you know, and it was made 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And it's still good and like, listenable, and you still enjoy it, and, you know, enjoy listening to it. Then, to me, that's what makes an album, like, timeless and just, like, an instant classic. It's like you could put this album out at any time, and it would be like, wow, this is a great album. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think Prozzäk had a few of those, and not only albums, but yeah, just some songs that were just so like, whoa, I got a good tune, you know.
And I don't remember any other band or group, whatever you want to call it, before Prozzäk that was a cartoon. Like, that wasn't a real person. Like,
yeah,
they
like
were
how
real
they
people.
told the story.
Yeah, like,
I know what you're saying,
like,
yeah.
because they were, I think, the Philosopher Kings, right? Like, two guys from the Philosopher Kings, I think, is what.
See, that's what I'm gonna have to refresh myself on, because
I feel like that's what it is.
I think I knew more at one point, but right now I got to go back and dig a bit because I'm not 100% sure on that. But you could be right.
I think so.
Yeah.
And then
they just formed
they didn't
Prozzäk.
like the world didn't know that Prozzäk was the Philosopher Kings for a while.
Yeah. Okay, it was kind of like
because you weren't able to keep shit like that secret.
Yeah,
right?
secret side projects more. Or
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, that's fair.
And like it was this whole thing like who's Prozzäk? Like, who's making this music?
The music would just come out with these cartoons.
Yeah.
That's true. I remember that because the cartoons would come out with the music and you'd be like, who's doing this?
I think
like,
that was before the Gorillas.
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But once again, the timelines can be a little blurry there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of, in that period where you could make that music video and then people would just see whatever you created and you'd have the band name or whatever, but you wouldn't be able to dig as much. There was a little bit of like, you couldn't instantly find out who, the band members were for that band. It was just like, oh, that's Prozzäk, but who's in that? You know what I mean? It was kind of like you didn't really know. And especially then because they were doing it as like little cartoons, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, who's creating this, right?
Or even something like Deadmau5.
Yeah.
Deadmau5 was kind of the same.
At the start, yeah, it was like,
no one really knew who Deadmau5 was.
Exactly. He was just making music, putting out his videos and his music, and then it took a long time before... I think he even played, some shows when he didn't even take off the thing for a while.
Yeah, like
so
he wore that big head thing.
Yeah. So he was kind of like keeping it super secretive. So it was interesting to see how people do things differently.
That whole like incognito sort of thing.
And I mean, it's like that with a lot of art. I mean, what did we talk about in the past a little bit about the Banksy stuff?
Yeah.
Nobody really knew what that was all about,
And it's tough to do in this day and age.
It is tough to do. It is tough to do because you're creating a creative piece, and if people are interested in it, everybody instantly wants to know, like, who did that? Like, who's making this cool thing?
Yeah.
But if you can keep a little bit of secrecy... and you can keep people hanging as to like who made this awesome thing, then it's pretty cool. There's definitely an advantage to a little bit of wow, like who's doing this cool stuff,
I want to do that at some point in my life.
Some secret project where you just put out stuff and nobody really knows who did it.
Have like a nom de plume or like something,
like
a stage name or stage face or something.
Fair.
Put out something.
That's kind of
under
cool,
a different name and not tell anyone that it's me.
Yeah, and then just get somebody to be like, this is what's going on, but then it'd have to be somebody that you just find literally almost like try to find like a random person or whatever to try to...
Like a hype man?
Maybe, I don't know, like it depends what you're trying to do though.
I don't know, I haven't like worked out the details.
But that's a cool idea and I think you probably could pull that off.
Yeah, I want to do that at some point.
I might have to join you and, do that either myself or we could do something together. And create some sort of amazing thing that's, a super secret thing, but, it's out there. It's pretty awesome.
Yep.
That would be fun.
It would be.
There's been a ton of people that have done that in the past.
Yep.
And I think that it brings so much energy and, like,
it's that mystery.
Who's doing this? That mystery to the thing, right? If you have the mystery behind the creative project, then, it's like...
Yeah.
There's something pretty cool about that.
Yeah. Anywho.
Want to wrap it up on a mystery?
Let's wrap it up on a mystery.
Okay. So this episode is actually a giant mystery.
This episode is brought to you by Mysteries.
Mystery. And mysteries.
Unsolved mysteries.
Future mysteries, mysteries of the past, unsolved mysteries.
Mysteries of the future. Mysteries of the now. Mysteries of the then. Mysteries of the
mysteries of where your drink all went.
In my belly.
Look at you. And she has a straw.
I've been playing with the straw the entire time.
I saw that. I noticed that.
And I feel like our friends probably don't understand, but from my point of view, it looks really funny to bend the straw back and forth.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that does look pretty funny.
It's really funny, and I have the attention
Nice.
span of a flea for the last 2 days or so.
Nice.
Actually, I'd say probably for the last week, I've had an attention span of a flea.
Mm.
So yeah,
That's cool. That's cool.
yeah.
Huh. Yeah, they probably won't be able to see this good, but that does look pretty funny.
Thank you.
No problem. I can back you up.
Cool.
All right, mystery folks.
Bye.
Y'all stay classy out there. Bye.